A lot of times we feel that we are the forgotten, born-again Palestinian Christians here in the Holy Land. My name is Pastor Steve Curry. I'm the Vice President of Holy Land Baptist Mission. I'm also the Assistant Pastor here at First Baptist Church in Bethlehem. FBC has been around for over 35 years now. The amazing thing about FBC is that it's expanded and grown to many cities and villages and areas. In fact, today, FBC, out of it, and the umbrella of which is Holy Land Baptist Mission umbrella, we've expanded to 10 active ministries, whether it be churches, underground and above the ground churches, to media ministries, to printing materials, to youth programs, kids programs, medical outreaches, in areas like Jenin, which is a very hostile area, to cities and areas where we own locations and buildings in Jericho, in the Shepherd's Field, and we have partnering ministries and activities outreaches in the city of Gaza, in Jerusalem as well. We reach over 3,000 people on a weekly basis, whether it be directly or indirectly with the outreaches that we have. Around 95, 96, we started to see the Oslo agreement and peace treaty talks between the Israeli-Palestinian situation. We started to see the voice of the Islamic community rise, but the voice of the Christian community decrease and decline. After Oslo, control of Bethlehem was turned over from Israel to the Palestinian Authority. Today in Israel and the PA territories, there are 12 officially recognized denominations. We are not one of them. However, given our history and our influence, we have always been treated as if we were. In the PA territories today, the churches are just as involved in paperwork as the government. When a child is born, the parents must get documents from both the hospital and the church or mosque they belong to in order to register for a birth certificate from the PA. In 2010, we married a young couple in our church, and this young couple got married, and a month later they got ready to go on their honeymoon. So they went to the Ministry of Interior to get their passports so they can leave Israel. The interior they were going to go to is the Palestinian interior. The person in charge who was in charge of the religious affairs in the Ministry of Interior of the Palestinian Authority actually almost kicked him out of the office and said, "You are traitors because you come from a traditional Christian background and you converted and moved your membership into an evangelical church. This is something that God will curse you for." He himself was a Greek Orthodox. So you have to understand that in the Middle Eastern culture, your religion or faith is your identity. Without that, you are nothing. So if a church or a faith-based entity is condemned or delegitimized, that puts a big black dot on you that tells the people stay away from you. So that's affected our growth. That has affected our expansion. Those that would have gotten married here are stopped coming, or had to join another place temporarily to get married there, or they can't get married because you can't just pick up and go to a church and say, "I'd like to hire out the church hall." It doesn't work that way. We just want to unfreeze that, and we want to be recognized as a denomination. That we have the right to exist. We've been here. We're active. We're the largest evangelical church. To many in the community, they'll tell us that we are more active than most of the other denominations combined. We have met with the small local office manager all the way to the Palestinian Prime Minister. The situation we're dealing with is with the Palestinian Authority. We have then taken it to the next level by taking it to the Congress, but that has done nothing with the Palestinian Authority. In the letter, the Palestinian Authority writes and says the reason that we have done what we have done and are doing to the Currys or the Baptist Church, Holy Land Baptist Mission, is because of lobbying from other entities and other religious entities and lobbying from other groups against them. Funny, because in this they admit that they are mistreating us. In there, they do admit that they are delegitimizing us. The verbal reasons that's circulating amongst the Palestinian leadership who don't see us as a legitimate church, they said is because of our love and our views on Israel, our belief in God's everlasting covenant with the nation of Israel, God's plan for the land of Israel, and because of our love for both the Arab and the Jew. And because of those beliefs, we can never be recognized and looked at as a legitimate church by the Palestinian Authority. It's a problem. We are suffering because of something we believe in. We are suffering because of our conviction. That's a religious rights issue. We need help.